Hey guys, we're going for something a little bit different today. It's not super coach, but hope you're going to like it. Today, we're talking coaches. Who's going to get the cut, who's safe, and who needs to have a big season and a big preseason. Stay tuned. Joe, mate, coaches get sacked every year, and feels like there's a few other players on the a few other coaches on the chopping block this year. What do you reckon?
Yeah, maybe. We have had zero discussions about this. You have just dropped this video idea on me out of the blue. But you know what? I don't mind it. I don't want to give away any secrets at the moment. I'm just gonna, you know what? Let's just go straight into it, and we'll be able to talk out our thoughts per coach.
So we've got our tier list ranking here. On the top, obviously on the hot seat, if they don't perform well, they're chopped. Things go poorly, well, 50-50, they're probably gone. Coaches that need a big 2024, otherwise, hey, there's going to be conversations. Guys who are probably safe, potentially coming off premierships, all that kind of stuff. And then maybe new coaches to a club or in a rebuilding club. So, yeah. I guess are we going to pick someone, or are we just going to go from the front?
That's a good idea. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. You know what? I feel like let's just get it out the way. Craig McRae is fully safe. Let's just get that out the way before we even do anything.
Look, he's already pointing like, hey, you know where I am. That's it.
I am number one. He says. But yeah, do you want to go coach by coach? Let's go coach by coach. Let's do it. Okay. Keep people guessing.
Brad Scott.
That's Chris Scott.
Sorry, that's Chris Scott. Where's Brad? Good old Brad. I know what Brad looks like. He was my coach for 10 years. Chris Scott. It's an interesting one because I think he's just re-signed a contract or at least have another year left on his. I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to say Chris Scott is probably in the needs a big 2024 position because I think just with the way that the team's going, we know they're probably not going to be playing for finals, and he's been there for so long that if they come out and completely tank, not saying they have to play finals, right? But if they come out and completely tank, there's going to be conversations. Hey, is it his last year? What's going to happen? Can we get someone new and fresh in? That kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I think, I reckon I'm happy to go with needs a big 2024, but I'd be more likely to, I feel like it'd be towards the end of that.
Okay.
But
maybe we'll put him over here once there's a few other coaches. Luco Beveridge.
Mate, he's got to go on the hot seat. Absolutely. I can't believe this guy's still in a job. Come on. This guy has been so... honestly, if not for him making that grand final against Melbourne, he definitely would not be in a job right now, I think. His team has been so good. He's had such incredible talent that he has essentially squandered, I feel, by playing them all out of position. And he's essentially pushed Josh Dunkley out the door, who is Brownlow medal capable, So he's got to be on the hot seat, surely.
Yeah, and there was talk as well about, hey, if Rio trying to poach him, what's going to happen with that kind of stuff as well. I think he's got another year after this year, but he could be gone. I guess we know Fly's down here. We could probably say Damien Hardwick's down there too, right? Not probably safe, first year new club. Down there at the moment.
On big bucks and everything.
Yeah, Chris Fagan. It's an interesting one.
If this was 2023, I'd say he'd be on the hot seat.
Okay.
Considering that his team wasn't really challenging properly for grand finals in the final series, they were very much a very strong home and away team. But after what they did last year, it can go one of two ways. He's either probably safe, or if things go poorly, I feel, because either the club is very much on board with, yep, clearly you are the right guy for the job because you've improved us, you've improved our list, you've continued to get more high talented players to our team, and we just fell short in the grand final. They'd be crazy to sack him. So, but at the same time, if they really regress hard, and they fall off a cliff, they don't finish top 2 or top 4, which is crazy for them considering they have such a strong, hold at the Gabba. So if things go poorly and they start losing games at the Gabba and they don't finish top 4, then all of a sudden the pressure really builds. So I don't know. I'm almost having argued for the probably safe and if things go poorly. I might say needs a big 2024.
Yeah, I would have him as probably needs a big 24 or probably safe. I think last year kind of gave him that security, obviously making the grand final, and we know how well he did in the preseason games already. So it looks like he's coming into it full guns blazing. As you say, if he completely comes out and loses everything, when we do the tier list next year, I think it's going to be like that. But at the moment, I think Fagan. Are we going to choose needs a big 2024 or probably safe? Because I would have him like in the middle between these two.
Correct.
But probably
I'd say
safe.
probably safe. Yeah, probably safe. I mean, the guy just came off. He lost the grand final by under a kick, for goodness sake. I think we're forecasting a bit too far in advance. At this current point in time, he's probably safe.
One who isn't probably safe is Simon Goodwin. For me, he needs to be up in this orange page. We know all the preseason trouble, everything they've been happening there. Obviously, didn't do so well in the finals this year and has been at the club for a while. I think he's still got a bit of contract left, but there's so much controversy and everything going on. If you add like Melbourne having another shit season and being like mid-tier, gosh, if he was bottom tier, like he's lost his job. Melbourne fans and the club would not be happy.
They've gone straight set exit the last 2 years in a row, which is obviously no good. And their culture's in shambles at the moment. And it honestly looks like they could miss the 8. So I'm happy to put him in the orange. If things go poorly, then sayonara. This guy, Ken Hinkley, he got a bit of an extension.
Yeah.
But is his job ever really safe at Port Adelaide? You know what I mean? With Josh Carr in the wings, they've recruited heavily. They went out and poached all the players that they want to poach: Asava, Sweet, Soldo, BZT, on top of what they did last year. So they've given up a lot to really put this list together. If things go, I think he's probably safe, to be honest. I think he needs a big 2024, considering that I've just said if things go poorly, he needs a big 2024. Probably I'm all over the shop with this guy.
Traffic lights happening here.
He's just signed a contract. That's the thing. Like, had he not just signed a contract extension, I'd probably go orange. Since he has signed, I think he needs a big 2024.
See, I would have him at things go poorly, right? We know how close it was sack Hinkley last year. And yes, they did have the second half of the season where they jumped up and they played finals and everyone was happy. But that fan base still knows how bad he is. And with all these additions, if they come in and then like have what was an 0-8 or 0-5 start to the season and don't pick up in the second half, he's out the door, Joe. New contract or not, like kaput. So I would definitely have him in the gap here, but I'll almost have him more of if things go poorly, the club's fed up with him. The fans, one good year does not mean like the last 10 years were taken away.
Yeah, but he just signed it for 2 years. So what's the point of giving him this year? What's the point of all right, we extend him, we give him this year, and then sack him? Like, what's the point? Like, it would look silly, but at the same time, it could end up being a Ratton situation. Yeah, I reckon.
Kingsley, I definitely have in the probably safe pile. Like, doesn't matter, if they.
No, I reckon he's fully safe.
You reckon? Okay,
yeah,
that's easy. What about Longmire. Where's he on your list?
I reckon he's probably safe.
Okay.
Had he missed finals last year,
Yep.
I think it would have been a bit more
Up here in
scrutiny
mid.
on him.
Yep.
Yeah. But they made finals last year and they've gotten better this year with some good acquisitions. Grundy, Adams, James Jordan, in addition with what they already have. So I reckon he's probably safe.
Yeah. Well, that's it, right? That's kind of what we're looking at. Someone who's not probably safe is John Longmire. Are we picking here or are we up here?
Yes,
okay, all right.
all the way
He's
up.
on the top. If Freo do not make finals this year, I don't want to put out a prediction, but I don't know if he's going to be out of a job. Like, Freo need a real increase, and no one in the AFL has them moving up the ladder. Like, it's not like, oh, yeah, Sydney or whatever. There's potential. St Kilda, we might think that it might be in or out, but no one has him. No, yeah. That's all I'm going to say. I can't even get the words to come out.
He doesn't have an agent anymore either. He's now representing himself in communication with the club. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Especially with the rumors of, as you mentioned before, about Bevo. So, if those are true, then he knows he's on the hot seat.
Yep, that's it. Sam Mitchell, we can probably say as the fully safe, or at least in the probably safe category.
Nah, he's full. He's full.
Yeah, club's rebuilding. They know where he is at. Similar to these other players, right? New coaches coming in, but I would almost put Clarko there. We'll talk about him in a little bit as well. Nix, where are we going with Adelaide?
He's been there for a few years now. He's been there for some substantial time, and they probably should have made finals last year, but they didn't. So I think he needs a big 2024 because they're building a list. I think they're bullish. I think they feel like they're ready to go to the next level. But if it doesn't, then they might be calling into question, all right, great, you're a great developmental coach, but we might need someone else to take us over the edge and break into that top 6 category, top 6, top 4. So I reckon he needs a big 2024.
Easy. Chuck him in the middle. Oh, that's gonna let me. Cool. All right, Ross Lyon. An interesting one because I think St Kilda are on the cusp. We know they made finals last year, so I would have him as at the probably safe mark. But if things go to shit, and with all these new acquisitions, they don't make finals, they end up like 13th on the ladder, I think the pressure's on him next year because he's done it before and he wanted to be like, cool, premierships, we have to get him. What do you reckon?
I reckon he's I don't know. I think he's just outside of fully safe into probably safe. I think they clearly wanted him back. Yeah. And they're going to give him everything he wants, essentially, like they've been doing. And he seems to be very happy and very chill and mic'd up and things like that. So I reckon he's probably safe.
Cool. Someone who's not probably safe and has only been saved by the fact that he managed to sign a massive contract before all the stuff started happening is Adam Simpson. Former North Melbourne player, obviously, is off coaching West Coast. He's in a spot of bother, Joe, and on the wrong end of a rebuild. The fans, the WA media, everyone's there. The only thing going for him is that everyone has penciled him into, like, getting bottom tier, bottom of the rankings, probably wooden spoon. If he does better than that, fantastic. But he can't really go down in the rankings further than that, right? I'd almost consider him to be probably safe just for the position that the team's in versus if he was coaching a good team in the situation that he was and did poorly, like he'd be out the door.
Yeah, I think the fact that they didn't sack him last year amongst all the shit that was taking place, they could have very easily have sacked him during the course of last year. and for good reason too, considering how bad they were and non-competitive. But they stuck by him, and so that's probably a great show of faith and commitment to the guy. So, I reckon he's probably safe as well. They're not gonna. I don't think they can expect anything out of him. They
And I think
can't
he's got 3
to
years.
to give him a big 2024. So yeah, I reckon he's probably safe.
I think he's got 3 years at like 800k left as well. So it's not like they're gonna be able to suffice getting rid of that. Someone, and I know it might be a bit controversial here, but I reckon Voss is not as secure as what some people are saying. Like some people would have him down, cool, fully safe, probably safe. They know where they are. But the Carlton fans and the Carlton media are very, very ruthless. And if they come in and don't do that well this year, if they regress and don't make finals again, if they don't push and get a grand final, at least this year or next year, like there's going to be, hey, do we want to renew his contract talks? What do you reckon?
Bro, I actually couldn't believe it that he wasn't sacked during the course of. I honestly said that he shouldn't be sacked. The Carlton needs to steady the ship, and that's something that they've been unable to do for many years. It's always been rinse and repeat, the exact same formula. They needed to take the hard route, which was to steady the ship, keep backing him in, not sack him, and that's what they did. Amongst all that shit last year, they stuck by him. They might have been close to sacking him, but they didn't. And they finished this season incredibly well. They made a prelim. Everyone's touting them to finish high. I do reckon he's probably safe. He's also very fresh off a re-signing. He just re-signed like the other week. So I reckon he's probably
maybe
safe.
I've missed that. Then maybe I've missed that then. Happy to chuck him in there. Uze is probably a fully safe candidate, new club, new team, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Fair?
Yep.
And then same for Clarko as well, I don't think.
Yep. I agree.
Big Brad. Where does Big Brad end up?
It's actually amazing you left him till last.
Well, he was at the bottom of the list. Like, what are you going to do, right? You kind of just go through everybody. As much as I don't like Brad Scott, I think I probably have him in the probably safe category. But if he doesn't have a big year, he's definitely going like further up the list. Second year at the club now, he's signed for 5 years. Probably doesn't get sacked, but he could definitely find himself in the needs a big 2025, 2026 category. Essendon are ruthless, Joe. This year, I know it's going to hurt a lot, but it's like 7,000 days. Another year, another 365 days added to that list. Potentially 500 days if you don't make finals and obviously middle of the year. Pressure's on. And it's why like Essendon have gone through coaches recently. Not as much as North Melbourne because obviously the controversies and stuff. But yeah, your fans are ruthless. And I know you want finals.
Yeah, we do, obviously. But I don't know. Personally, for me, and I think there's a bunch of other people as well who are Essendon supporters who just feel like at this point, because we own the record, the drought so much, that like it's already and it's always raised all the time. We get it. It's like one of the most overly used tropes and things that always gets pointed out every day. Really, there's literally there's literally a social media account that's really like days since Essendon last won a final. So it almost is so common to us that it's become part of the furniture and isn't really that much of a bother anymore, really, in terms of a sore point. Like, that's it. We owned it. We've embraced it. It is what it is. It comes also with our 16 premierships. So be it. I think he's done really well in terms of tempering people's expectations right from day dot as soon as he's come through the door. And we've had a lot of turnover off the field in addition to him coming in. And I think part of what made the job at Essendon so appealing to him is that there is going to be that complete turnover. Even Dodoro is gone. Like, if even Dodoro, who's managed to avoid all of the culling and all the coaches changes, even he is now out the door. So clearly we are rebuilding an entirely new Essendon Football Club. And this guy has got the full confidence of this new club and everyone's sort of aligning. I actually reckon he's more likely in the fully safe than the probably safe, considering why we've brought him across on a 5-year contract. Everything is changing. We're really putting all our eggs into this basket of changing the club. So I reckon he's still in the fully safe category, to be honest. You know, if you can have him as the very last person entering into the probably safe, sort of like what you've done here, that's perfectly fine. I think after 1 year, one preseason, you know, into a 5-year deal, and there was definite improvement, especially in the first half of the season. We just sort of fell away at the last in the last month of football, which is obviously disappointing. But I wouldn't say his whole job's in jeopardy because of that one last month.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Guys, let us know down in the comments. What do you think? Hey, Big J and Joe, why is my coach in the hot seat? What's he doing? You know, Freo's just signed him to a 1 million-year contract. Let us know down in the comments, guys.
1 million-year contract. Jeez, I'd love to make sure I know what he's drinking. If West Coast have the drinks that cause you to get injured and Freo have the drinks that let you live 1 million years, mate, I know where I'm going. If you guys like what you saw here today, please drop us a like. Would love to hear some engagement from you guys. Let us know what you think down below. Hit that subscription button, notification bell, all that jazz. We're loving to sprinkle in some general footy content amongst all of our SuperCoach stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, we've got our SuperCoach League as well, where you guys can win 3 amazing prizes and our tipping competition that we're running this year for the first time. Check out the links down in below.
There are some free prizes, very nice ones to be won. You can get a jersey of your choice if you come first in our SuperCoach Open League. There's also a couple of general admin tickets if you score the highest individual weekly score for the year. And there is also our Lucky Lottery prize, which is a $20 AFL voucher. And if you win our tipping competition, you get a $50 AFL voucher.
I can't wait. It's going to be a big year, and we'll be here all season for you guys. So stay tuned.
Because we do the hard work so that you don't have to. See you in the next one.